Very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Shivpal Yadav quits from post as Samajwadi Party UP State Unit Chief. Also resigns from Akhilesh Yadav's cabinet. Move after meetings with Mulayam and UP Chief Minister. Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari leaves for Venezuela to attend the 17th NAM summit, says peace is a prerequisite for development and tackling terror is a global responsibility. Jolt for PDP in Kashmir, senior leader and Srinagar MP Tariq Hamid Khara resigns from all posts, accuses Mufti government of failing to bring peace to the valley. BJP says it is PDP's internal matter. Statewide Bandh called in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry over the Kaveri river water sharing issue. Traders and farmers protest attack against Tamils. SC asked both states to maintain law and order. And Union Health Minister to meet Delhi Health Minister as death toll in viral fever outbreak in national capital mounts. WHO calls for strengthening country's disease surveillance network. Our top focus on the bulletin this morning, Shivpal Yadav has resigned from the post of State Party Unit Chief of the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh. He has also quit from all cabinet posts in the Akhilesh Yadav government. This development came late on Thursday night after a day filled with meetings in Lucknow and Delhi to douse the family feud in the Samajwadi Party. Here's a report.
The feud in the Samajwadi Party taking a fresh twist on Thursday night. Shivpal Yadav resigning from his post as party's state unit chief as well as minister from the Akhilesh Yadav cabinet.
सभी कार्यकर्ता हम आपके साथ खड़े हैं। जी जी सब कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ खड़े हैं और अब सब लोग आराम से जाइए, सोइए, हम भी सोएं।
The development coming after Shivpal Yadav met Party Supremo Mulayam Singh and Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav in Lucknow. The resignation coming shortly after Shivpal said he will take up any responsibility.
ये बहुत समाजवादी पार्टी के लिए बड़े संकट की घड़ी है और इस घड़ी में समाजवादी परिवार को पूरे एक होकर इस 2017 के मिशन के लिए काम करना चाहिए।
माननीय मंत्री शिवपाल यादव जी ने समाजवादी को छोटे पेड़ पौधे से एक पेड़ बनाया था जिसमें हम सब छाया ले रहे थे। इसमें हम ये चाहेंगे कि माननीय नेताजी और अखिलेश जी इन माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का सम्मान वापस करें। हम यही निवेदन करते हैं।
PTI is quoting sources as saying that Shivpal's wife has resigned from the post of District Cooperative Bank chairperson Etawah and son Aditya has given resignation as chairman of Pradeshik Cooperative Federation. Sources say both Mulayam and Akhilesh have refused to accept the resignations. The rift in the SP, months ahead of the all-crucial assembly elections, began after Akhilesh Yadav was removed as state party unit chief and replaced with Shivpal Yadav. The UP chief minister removed Shivpal from key cabinet posts. While the drama unfolded, the two sides maintained that all is well in the family. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now listen in to some political reactions coming in on the crisis that has hit the Samajwadi Party.
सीएम साहब कह रहे हैं तो ठीक ही कह रहे होंगे। जाहिर है जिम्मेदार पद पर हैं तो वह जिम्मेदार बात तो नहीं कहेंगे और ये अंदेशा तो बहुत पहले से था। इसी वजह से हमने भरपूर मुखालिफत की थी ऐसे लोगों की आने की जिनका बहुत काला इतिहास रहा है और जिनका पेशा ही यह है रिकॉर्डिंग करो, ब्लैकमेल करो।
Today, Uttar Pradesh is reeling under corruption. Today, Uttar Pradesh is reeling under the law and order situation which is dwindling fast. Today, we have land grab cases across Uttar Pradesh. In fact, the situation of Uttar Pradesh is so bad. But despite this, there is no governance in Uttar Pradesh. Rather than delivering governance to Uttar Pradesh, the whole system of government in Uttar Pradesh today is busy in a fight within the family to acquire power.
ये 4.5 साल लूट में लगे रहे और मुलायम सिंह जी ने भी कई बार कहा, उन्होंने ये कहा कि ये लोग प्लॉटों पे कब्जा कर रहे हैं, खूब लूट कर रहे हैं, इनको जनता की सेवा करने का समय नहीं मिल रहा है। अब जब चुनाव करीब आ गया तो उस लूट के पैसे पर इनका झगड़ा शुरू हुआ है और मैंने जैसा कहा है, ये लूट पर फूट है, फूट के बाद टूट है। और
Meanwhile, in a major setback to the ruling People's Democratic Party government in Jammu and Kashmir, one of its founding members and MP, Tariq Hamid Kara, has resigned from the party and parliament. The BJP has reacted to the latest development, saying it is the internal matter of the PDP. The development comes as the situation in Kashmir remains tense, with 79 deaths so far since protests broke out.
In the first major fallout of the ongoing Kashmir unrest, senior PDP MP from Srinagar, Tariq Hamid Kara, on Thursday resigned from the party and the Lok Sabha. Kara resigned, citing the failure of the Mehbooba Mufti government to deal with the ongoing unrest in the state.
I have for the moment resigned from the primary membership of People's Democratic Party and from the membership of Parliament. I will have to consult the people as well as my workers, and I will take a decision later on. I have been consistently for the last 16 months, it is not only last 2 months, consistently for last 16 months requesting and warning entire PDP leadership for the dire consequences of this RSS-backed BJP.
Alliance partner BJP said it is the internal matter of the PDP and that the two parties will continue to work as per the agenda of alliance.
As far as the alliance is concerned, I think the two parties have agreed to move ahead on the agenda of alliance, which is primarily the agenda of development.
Earlier on Wednesday, India raised the issue of Balochistan for the first time before the 33rd session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. India accused Pakistan of widespread human rights violation in the region as well as in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. India says it will continue to raise the issue.
जब तक बलूचिस्तान में रिप्रेशन रहेगा, जब तक कि वहाँ के जो नागरिक हैं उनकी फंडामेंटल राइट्स वायलेट की जाएंगी, तब तक भारत इस मुद्दे को उठाएगा.
Meanwhile, curfew was imposed in Rajouri district after members of two communities indulged in stone pelting following communal tension in the town. Security forces were deployed at vulnerable places even as aerial surveillance using drones and helicopters continued. In Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir Governor N.N. Vohra called on the Prime Minister and apprised him of the situation in the state as the death toll in the unrest that began in July rose to 79. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the top security advisors of BRICS nations held their 6th meeting in New Delhi on Thursday. National Security Advisor Ajit Dahal presided over the meeting. Acknowledging the positive contribution of BRICS grouping on important global issues, they deliberated on security issues such as counter-terrorism, cyber-security and energy security. They agreed to cooperate to deny terrorists access to finance and weapons while vowing to launch joint efforts to counter terrorism and violent extremism emanating from West Asia and North African region. In the area of cyber-security or information security, they agreed to strengthen joint efforts on enhancing cyber-security by sharing of information and best practices, combating cyber crimes, improving cooperation between technical and law enforcement agencies. The representatives encouraged cooperation and exchange of best practices, expertise, information and knowledge on counter-terrorism issues.
They also agreed to expand BRICS counter-terrorism cooperation further to include measures for denying terrorists access to finance and terror hardware such as equipment, arms and ammunition. They underscored the need for a global legal regime to deal with the global menace of terrorism.
Well, oil companies on Thursday increased the selling price of petrol by 58 paisa a litre and diesel rate was slashed by 31 paisa a litre. After this revision, consumers will have to shell out 64.05 rupees for a litre of petrol in Delhi and 52.60 rupees for a litre of diesel. Now, the new price came into effect from midnight. In a statement, the country's largest fuel retailer said that the movement of prices in the international oil market and rupee-dollar exchange rate shall continue to be monitored closely and developing trends of the market will be reflected in future price changes. Indian Oil Corporation and other state-owned fuel retailers like Hindustan Petroleum and Bharat Petroleum revise petrol and diesel prices on the 1st and 16th of every month based on international oil rate and foreign exchange ratio in the preceding fortnight. Well, a statewide bandh has been called in Tamil Nadu and in Puducherry over the Kaveri water sharing issue. Traders and farmers in Tamil Nadu have called for the bandh to protest against the violence targeting Tamils in the neighbouring state of Karnataka. Seeking a long-term solution to the Kaveri water issue, many political parties such as DMK, Congress, VCM, PMK, CPIM, CPI and MDMK have extended their support to the bandh. Several Tamil outfits in Puducherry have also called for the bandh to condemn the violence against Tamils in Karnataka. As a preventive measure, Section 144 has been extended in Bengaluru till September 25th midnight.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು RAF, ರ್ಯಾಪಿಡ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು BSF, ಇದೆರಡು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್, 5 KSRP ಬೆಟಾಲಿಯನ್ ಮತ್ತು 8 DR ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
There was massive security deployment at railway stations across South Karnataka on Thursday in the wake of the Rail Roko agitation called by pro-Kannada activists. The state police managed to prevent rail blockades called by over 1 lakh activists of the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike to protest against the Supreme Court order on Kaveri water sharing.
Rail Roko is announced by certain organizations in connection with the Kaveri water issue throughout the state. Within the city, we have deployed city police, state reserve police and paramilitary forces adequately at all the railway stations. At the same time, police presence is continued throughout the city in view of the land order incidents that took place on Monday.
Additional forces were deployed in sensitive areas like Mandya, Yashwantpur, Mysuru, Hubli and Raichur. In Bengaluru, hundreds of activists took out a protest rally against governments of both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. A number of them were detained as they tried to break the heavy security cordon to enter the main railway station in the city. Among those detained include Kannada Federation President Vatal Nagaraj, Kannada Rakshana Vedike convener Praveen Shetty and Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce President Sara Govindu.
ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಾದ್ಯಂತ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ಬಂಧಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಾದ್ಯಂತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬಂದ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬಂದ್ ಕಡಿತೇವೆ, ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Several protesters were also detained at Shivamogga, Hubli, Mysuru and Dharwad to prevent them from entering railway stations. As protests against the order continue across Karnataka, the Apex Court on Thursday directed both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to maintain law and order. It asked both state governments to ensure there was no violence and destruction of property in both states over Kaveri water sharing. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it's time for a short break now, but news updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to this episode of Eureka.
This institute is more than about 60 years old. So this is the first institute probably in the world to give the concept of oral vaccine. So on cholera and leishmania, this institute is worldwide known. Jawaharlal Nehru, many of them actually inspired that there should be an institute like that, which is striving for understanding the parasite biology and major epidemics in the country and develop the drugs for that.
Watch Eureka with Professor Samit Chattopadhyay, Director CSIR IICB Kolkata, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, en route to Venezuela to attend the 17th NAM Summit, Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari on Thursday addressed a press conference on board the Air India special aircraft. He explained India's position on various subjects that are expected to be taken up at the meeting.
Speaking about the key issues confronting the multilateral forum, Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari spoke of the significance India has attached to fighting the menace of terrorism. He said peace was a prerequisite to ensuring development, which explains why tackling terror is a responsibility of all nations across the globe.
Basic point is, how do you devote your energies to development unless there is peace? If peace does not prevail, then all attention gets diverted. So we need peace, we need solidarity as a group of countries with more or less converging objectives, and development remains our priority agenda.
The Vice President said there is no change in the methodology in how India is approaching the summit.
There was a methodology in 1961. The methodology underwent changes in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Again, the methodologies are being adjusted, but the objectives are not changing. But the methodology has to remain the same.
The Vice President also emphasized that in the present era, all member nations were bound by the same needs.
Every country has got the same priority in its agenda, which is development. And development not according to somebody else's perception or dictate, but development to its own perceptions.
Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari also said there was nothing extraordinary in Prime Minister Narendra Modi not leading the delegation to the NAM summit. He said that as always, India is being represented at the summit. With camera person Saroj Kumar Das, Shyam Sundar and Shiva Kumar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, on a 4-day goodwill visit to India, visiting Nepalese Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal or Prachanda will be holding a one-on-one meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today for bilateral cooperation. There are expectations that agreements will be signed relating to cooperation in areas of mutual interest, including development and security, including terrorism. This is the first foreign visit of Nepal's Prime Minister after he took oath of office last month.
As Nepal's new Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal began his 4-day visit to India on a Thursday, there are hopes that bilateral relationship between Delhi and Kathmandu will be back on track. Dahal or Prachanda will hold a one-on-one meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Ahead of the meet, India made it clear that it will ask Prachanda's priorities for nation building and provide help to the landlocked country.
Idea is for us to meet Mr. Prachand, to convey to him our continued interest in the stability and peace and prosperity of Nepal, and to learn from him firsthand what are his developmental priorities, which are the areas he wants to focus on, and where Indian assistance can provide the maximum benefit to the people and government of Nepal.
This is Prachanda's first foreign visit after assuming office. At a function at the Nepalese embassy on a Thursday, he reiterated that the top focus of the new dispensation is to create the right atmosphere before the implementation of the constitution and pave way for the necessary amendments. Relationship between India and Nepal had nosedived after Madheshis led a 6-month agitation in Terai region of Nepal over new constitution.
Very inclusive constitution, but there is always scope for improvement. There are some grievances, there are some dissatisfaction. So I think internally we are capable of reaching to a conclusion for the satisfaction of all sections of Nepali society.
Nepal's Prime Minister's meeting with Prime Minister Modi is also expected to see a big push for Indian infrastructure projects in Nepal, including improving rail networks, hydropower and access to Indian ports. The issue of post-earthquake reconstruction in Nepal is also likely to be discussed. While India had announced $1 billion in aid for the reconstruction, strained ties and the lack of work on ground held up its disbursement.
You know, we have offered them considerable assistance. $1 billion in earthquake assistance itself has been granted to them, of which very little has been utilized.
Prachanda will call on the President later in the day. He is also scheduled to hold meetings with top cabinet ministers. On Saturday, Prachanda is scheduled to visit Nathpa Jhakri Dam and hydropower project in Himachal Pradesh. The agenda is to make a major tie-up in production of hydroelectricity in Nepal and its sale to India. With Bureau Inputs, this is Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Here's a look now at what else is slated to make news during the course of the day in the segment The Day Ahead. Amidst mounting bad loans, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will today hold a meeting with the heads of public sector banks to find ways to deal with the situation. Besides, he will also discuss credit growth and bad loan situation and various recovery measures by banks. Legislative steps taken by the government to expedite recovery are also part of the agenda. The environment ministers of BRICS countries are all set to meet today in Goa to strengthen mutual cooperation. The meeting is expected to discuss MOU and the joint working group on environment. BRICS ministers are also expected to discuss thematic areas of mutual interest and prioritize actions for cooperation in areas like air and water pollution, liquid and solid waste management, climate change and conservation of biodiversity. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will today travel around 157 kilometers and cover Chitrakoot, Banda and Mahoba districts in Uttar Pradesh. Later, he will address a Khat Sabha in Banda. The Yatra, which is being embarked upon keeping in mind the State Assembly elections of 2017, commenced on September 6th. The main aim of the Kisan Yatra is to strengthen the Congress party's ground base of support and regain lost political ground. Well, Union Health Minister J.P. Nadda will meet Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain today and on the viral fever outbreak in Delhi after death toll from dengue and chikungunya rose to 30. Nadda also spoke with the Health Minister of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh on the issue. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has called for strengthening India's disease surveillance network by engaging private healthcare sector to tackle outbreak of diseases. Here's more.
The death toll continues to rise due to sudden surge of vector-borne diseases in the national capital. At least 1,158 cases of dengue have been reported so far, with nearly 390 of them being recorded in the first 10 days of September.
MCD को कहा गया है कि अगले आने वाले 2 दिन के अंदर जितनी भी कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट्स हैं सभी को चेक किया जाए और जहां पर अगर पानी भरा हुआ है तो उसको साफ कराया जाए और उनके चालान भी किए जाएं। उसके अलावा हमने सभी अस्पतालों में कहा है कि जो भी पेशेंट आ रहे हैं उनके लिए आप पानी का जो ORS के घोल रखें सभी अस्पतालों के अंदर ताकि जो भी पेशेंट आता है या उनके अटेंडेंट आते हैं उनको डिहाइड्रेशन ना हो। हमने सभी अस्पतालों के अंदर डॉक्टर्स की छुट्टी कैंसिल करने का ऑर्डर दे दिया है। डॉक्टर्स की स्टाफ की सभी की छुट्टियां कैंसिल कर दी जाए आने वाले 1-2 महीने के लिए जब तक की सिचुएशन बिल्कुल ठीक ना हो जाए।
The Union Health Ministry and the Delhi government have asked MCD and civic bodies to compile a detailed report on the deaths due to chikungunya and dengue. Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung has also asked the Delhi government and civic bodies to mount full efforts to tide over the growing incidences.
शुरुआत से तो हमारे वर्कर, DBC वर्कर और फील्ड वर्कर्स काम कर ही रहे थे। फॉगिंग का जो रोल होता है वो थोड़ा लेट आता है और फॉगिंग मेडिकल एक्सपर्ट्स एडवाइस भी नहीं करते हैं कि आप जून जुलाई में फॉगिंग करें। लास्ट ईयर भी हमने अगस्त के एंड में फॉगिंग शुरू करी थी, तो उस हिसाब से ये लेट नहीं है।
हमने पूरे निगम को, हर पार्षद को फॉगिंग के लिए सभी अस्पतालों में अपने वॉलंटियर्स को, पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को, सबको हमने भेजा है कि इस समय मिल करके दिल्ली बीमार है, दिल्ली में अगर लोग पीड़ित हैं और उनको अगर समस्याओं से समाधान कराना है तो हम सबको मिलकर के काम करना होगा।
So far, over 40,000 people across the country have been affected by dengue, chikungunya and other vector-borne diseases, with at least 60 deaths reported so far. 5,000 cases each have been reported from West Bengal, Odisha and Kerala, while West Bengal has reported 5,129 dengue cases and 22 deaths. The disease has affected 5,183 people and claimed 9 lives in Odisha.
The 3-tier surveillance we are doing Kolkata, and that is why we have ensured that community clustering cannot be happen. If any person can be suffering from dengue, but that cannot be spread in that area. That is why our foremost duty to kill the adult mosquito, and we are doing very well to kill the adult mosquito. Till today, we are not getting any information about the community clustering. towards the Kolkata.
उड़ीसा में अभी हम देख रहे हैं फॉर लास्ट 7-8 इयर्स उड़ीसा में अभी डेंगू रेगुलरली एवरी ईयर ये जो सीजन है उस टाइम पे होता है। इस साल में मैक्सिमम आप देखिए बॉडबिल जो केउंझर एरिया है वहाँ पे मैक्सिमम हुआ है। उसके बाद में कोटक में जो जगतपुर इंडस्ट्रियल बेल्ट है वहाँ पे हुआ है।
As the number of deaths in Delhi from chikungunya and its complications are on the rise, health experts say the sudden surge this year could be the result of evolution of the viral strain. The number of chikungunya cases in the national capital have climbed to over 1,700 this season, and at least 12 deaths have been reported due to the disease till now. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Here's a look now at the other international news in World Wrap. WikiLeaks on Thursday released a medical report claiming its founder Julian Assange's mental health is at risk if he remains in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. The development comes ahead of a court hearing in Sweden to decide whether to maintain an arrest warrant for him. It has been more than 4 years since Assange moved into the Ecuadorian embassy to escape extradition to Sweden, where he faces a police investigation into rape claims. Typhoon Meranti struck China after pounding Taiwan. It made landfall on Thursday in Fujian province, bringing gales and monster waves of up to 12 meters high. Despite the winds lessening after landfall, they were strong enough to knock down trees, break windows and cause destruction. Earlier, 1 person died and 44 people were injured as the typhoon surged over Taiwan. US Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton got back on the campaign trail on Thursday after taking the 3 days off from pneumonia. Clinton appeared in good health during a campaign stop in Greensboro, North Carolina, where she sought to focus her campaign on the plight of the working class. On Sunday, Clinton nearly collapsed at a ceremony marking the September 11, 2001 attacks in New York. It was later revealed that she was suffering from pneumonia. A 13-year-old black boy has been shot dead by police in the US state of Ohio. Police says that Tyre King was shot after he pulled out a weapon while being arrested. Officers responded to a report of an armed robbery in Columbus. While 2 of the suspects ran away, the third, Tyre King, was chased and was shot multiple times when he pulled a gun from his waistband during a confrontation with the police. It was later established that the boy had actually been carrying an air gun designed to shoot pellets. Well, that's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.